Hello zombies! It is post-Halloween, which means we're never doing FX makeup again. Just kidding, we're gonna do some today. I figured, what's one of the best things about Halloween being over? Not many things, but everyone knows the best part about it hitting November is my birthday. No, it's the post-Halloween discounted candy. So I figured, what if we try to tap into this idea of how wonderful discounted candy is, and we see how great discounted Halloween supplies are. So we're going to a pop-up Halloween shop. Yes, I have pumpkin hair. I've had pumpkin hair for half of October. Thanks, Spencer. We're going to a pop-up Halloween shop that's trying to get rid of all their shit. Liquidation, Halloween style, with Mikey. Let's go. So we are here at... There's a lot going on here. Babies are, toys or babies are. It's like when you scribble on a piece of paper, but you fluff it up, so you cross it out, and then you write on top of it, then you cross it out, and then you write on top of it. That's what's happening in a commercial capacity here. Look at this guy. He's wacky. And we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna get all the deals. 75% off! Hell yeah! How much is that? Asking for a friend. I need this. Funny enough, this is the exact store that I bought my jigsaw tricycle from, except it was a Toys R Us back then. Hey man, how'd your Halloween costume turn out? I don't know, man. Kinda looks like shit. Look, Alexa, 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 Alexa. She's everywhere. This makes me so happy. If y'all don't know who Alexa Poletti is, you have been sleeping. Please go check out. She's amazing. Also, she did a whole review video on my wigs. So if you want to know more about how people think about them that aren't me, you should watch that. Found it. Jackpot. Discounted Halloween makeup. Not gonna be fooled again. I know that you're just the applicator. You're not the screw. There's actually quite a bit here. I'm excited. I'm about to go crazy. I've been thinking about what I could be that's gory, because that's where my brain goes. But then I saw this, and I have always loved Sonic the Hedgehog, and I've always loved Tails, and now I kind of want to be Tails. And I'm not sure how I'm going to pull that off with the makeup in the store, but I have orange hair, so it's extra appropriate right now. And before I dye it black again, I better do this. This is what we're going to try to do. I mean, come on. That looks like it's part of my hair practically. Done. Luckily, there's an entire section of orange. Also, because everything is super cheap right now, I am stocking up on things that I just want. And I want a lot of Alexa's face, and I want some of these good prosaic transfers. Won't be needing that. The crazy wig is on my head. Normally, this thing is 50 doll hairs, but today is 25. I'm gonna need a tutu. Wait, I should be Liza for Halloween. Wait, it's not October. I just want to be Liza. I'm gonna get this perky tail for the whiskers on his face, I guess. Did I do it? Yeah! Yeah, bitch. I mean, yes, lovely people of the internet. I still need black and blue, and a brush, obviously, so I think this is perfect. Nailed it. I feel like I'm still about to spend $100 like I would in any of these other videos that I've done like this. Did I actually stay under 100? Yes! I saved $73. That's almost as much as I spent. This is how it should always be priced for Halloween. That's fair. Hello zombies! I am back with less hair here and more hair here. Yes, I look like a traffic cone. Or an orange highlighter. How many times are people gonna make fun of me for the way I say orange in this video? Yes. Orange, A-R-A-N-G-E, not orange, orange. That's your lesson in how to speak like a Philadelphian. You're welcome. It's a distant cousin of Farhead, which I know you already love. Oh, and Forest, which you all discovered last video. Forest. Yeah, we don't know what O's are in Philadelphia. Shocking. Our O's show up in the A's. Water. Anyway, you guys already saw what I got. Honestly, I'm not gonna give you makeup instruction for this because it's gonna look like shit. What I am gonna do instead is I will be talking more about the Haunted Halloween series. There's a lot of stuff that I missed. Footage that I left out, things that happened afterwards, stories I forgot to tell during, glitches that happened afterwards, and I have so much to say, so I'm just gonna start the makeup and start talking. And if you haven't watched the Haunted Halloween series yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. It's spooktacular, and it's 6 videos of me being incredibly paranoid. which is always kind of fun to see. It's worth watching. I have ears. I feel like I should get in costume a little bit first because I'm gonna have to costume around the costume. I can do this again! Alexa! Play Careless Whisper.
Careless Whisper by George Michael.
I know that these are made so that you can zip your face up and this should be on the other side, but we're not doing that. So let's not be excessive here, okay? I think this is plenty. Anyway, where was I? I feel like this is gonna make it much harder to do makeup. Whatever. We're here. There's no turning back. Okay. I should have opened all my makeup first, huh? This is gonna be fun to try to open. Can you see what happened here? Do you see this? Like what happened here? Oh, at least we have a brush with this one. It's gonna be a long tutorial. Settle in, folks. What are you doing on my lap, you little gray fox? I'm about to be a little orange fox. You're my little gray fox. Really? No reaction? Nothing? What a weird job I have. So I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram about what you wanted to know about the Halloween series, and I'm going to just talk about the series and hit at questions that I know were asked a lot. I'm having focus issues. Could it be a ghost? A ghost! So I figure I'll just start with the very first one that we shot. A lot of you guys don't realize the order in which we shot them. It's kind of similar to the order that I put them out, but not entirely. Entirely. The very first one that I shot was Jerome, Arizona. And I feel like that shows because I am definitely the most timid about everything. I am in Jerome, Arizona. It also happened to be the one in which I feared for my life the most. For good reason, I guess. But that was the first. Things that I left out of Jerome. I didn't give a lot of time to the hailstorm, and I should have, because that was one of the scariest moments of the whole series because of actual danger. I had never seen hail before in my life except maybe once or twice salt-sized hail, but this was like significant chunks coming down on the windshield. We were on the side of a mountain that had, you know, just tall rocks above us, nothing below us. So it came out of nowhere and it winds around and it was scary. And wow, this is gonna take a while. That's fine. This is fine. It's funny because we were going to film during the day in Jerome. The only reason we didn't is the hailstorm. It wouldn't have been nearly as scary during the day, so I'm really glad that it happened the way that it did. There is an overall theme to all these videos. Focus problems. Weird. That timing. The overall theme is there have been more technical audio, editing, video glitches in the last 2 months of filming these than I've ever had before. Of course, you can just chalk that up to being a technical computer issue, and it probably is, but it is weird that it kept happening throughout the series in weird ways. I caught a couple on camera, and they genuinely freaked me out because these are not the kind of things that I've encountered before, and I've been editing these videos for years. Here's one that I found while editing ESP. Did you catch this glitch before? Like, that's a solid clip.
And he was wearing this, like, old...
The f***? And here's one that I found in the Pine Barrens edit. Okay, wait, what's this? Watch this. I thought it was a leaf at first, but it kind of looks like it might be maybe a bug, like a praying mantis, but it comes in and then it just disappears in the next frame, like it's nowhere to be found. It doesn't cross the rest of the frame, but we're talking like milliseconds here. Where the fluff does that go?
One of those back roads.
Okay, well, I can't. This is not good. This is not good. And the one in Jerome.
I just wanted a cool location to do it in and kind of talk about the history of the town a little bit.
So those are just all very abnormal. Make of that what you will. But one of the first places that we shot in, the Roosevelt, was said to affect technology a lot. The ghosts in the Roosevelt fluff with the technology. So maybe I was just cursed after that. I did have technical issues at the Roosevelt. Before we started setting up, all of a sudden my laptop started to act funny and I couldn't get the sound to work like it normally does. And that's weird because the laptop is brand new. I don't use it for anything other than work. And all of a sudden, since the Roosevelt, I've been having all kinds of issues with my laptop. So Apple is spooky. And the award that Jerome gets is most terrified for my actual life overall. It also wins the hardest to shoot because it was just me and one other person in Jerome. And that made it much scarier because I knew that if he wasn't looking at something and if I wasn't looking at something, we were just open to scariness. I think that that's a factor that we eliminated by the time I got to the Pine Barrens. I was really afraid to do the Pine Barrens, but I had so many people with me at that point that it made it less scary, to be honest, which is fine. I didn't want to die in the woods, so I came prepared. And honestly, I needed all the people that I had with me in the Pine Barrens because I would have destroyed my gear and my laptop in that storm if I didn't have so many hands to get a tent over the table to get me out of the rain while I'm busy looking at stick bugs. We found a stick bug in the storm. I couldn't have done that on my own. So the thing that you guys don't know about the Roosevelt is I really wanted room 928 when I was doing my research for this because it's the most haunted room in the hotel. But when I called to book it, they told me that they couldn't guarantee me that I could get a specific room. They didn't do like room requests necessarily. They also said that I wouldn't know until the day I checked in if I was getting that room. The day that I checked into the Roosevelt, they said that they did keep 928 open for me the night before. And that made it way better because as it is, I feel like that one was pretty uneventful other than the hangar that everybody saw in the comments that I actually missed during filming and editing that moves in the background. But other than that, and other than that one noise that really freaked me out, because it sounded like it was practically in the room. It didn't sound that loud in the video itself, but it freaked me out in real life. Other than that, it was pretty uneventful. So at least we had the best shot at finding something being in the most haunted room, quote unquote. But the Roosevelt was really cool for a lot of other reasons. One being that I ended up having my launch party for my wigs at the Roosevelt the next month. I'm also awarding the Roosevelt the most forgetful because I forgot my lipstick and my lashes, and Katie is MVP. So I had different numbers of people helping me throughout the series. You guys saw Katie in the Roosevelt. The guy in the chair that you guys were like, did anyone see that man in the chair? Is that a ghost? That's not a ghost, that's Trevor. And then it depended where I was because, you know, I traveled 6,666 miles to go to all these places. True story. Most of the people in the Pine Barrens, actually all the people in the Pine Barrens that were helping me are from Jersey. I teamed up with a bunch of Jerseyans. I know some of you were hurt by my comments about Jersey, but to be fair, if you're from Jersey, then you know us Philadelphians have a requirement to be pretend rivals with Jersey as though we don't use your beaches every single summer for our only source of fun. So I have to, it's my duty. I also work with a cameraman that helps me out whenever I need it because I can't see so well or I just need extra help. Yeah, they're all good peeps and they all helped a lot. So let's talk about the Queen Mary. Queen Mary wins spookiest overall in terms of feeling and the energy of the place. It was no bueno. That was the only place I felt like just felt heavy and odd, and I kind of felt like I went into another dimension for a night because even though the ship is gigantic, I swear I must have seen less than a dozen people the entire time I was there. It just seemed like the ship was practically empty for us. It was weird. There's one thing that I forgot to tell you guys while I was filming that was actually really weird looking back on it. It's completely innocent, but it was just really odd. We get there, we check in, and the woman tells us she's gonna walk us to the room. But we go to the elevator, and she doesn't come with us because between me and my cameraman and all of our luggage, there's no room in these tiny elevators. So she's like, I'll just meet you down there. And we hit a floor, we go down, we walk out, and it seems like this isn't a deck where rooms are. Within 2 seconds, it felt like, of being out on that deck, a man came out of nowhere. It's around the main staircase area. That was weird. No one else is in this spot at all. He comes out of nowhere, walks right up to us right away with his hands behind his back and like a very approachable demeanor, and is like, "Are you guys lost?" And we were like, we're looking for B deck. And he was like, "Yeah, you're looking for your room? That's 2 floors down. If you did it," and he's like very gently and nicely explaining how to get to where we're trying to go. And at first, just the way that he acted, I assumed like, "Oh, you work here. It's weird that you could sense that we were lost." I don't feel like we walked out with like looks on our faces like, "Where are we?" And then I like looked at him and I realized he doesn't work there. He must just be a guest. And then he even walked us back over to the elevator and pushed the right button for us and was super nice. And as soon as the elevator doors closed, we were both kind of like, was that man real? Or is that like a ghost of someone who used to live or work on the ship? Would we ever really know if it was a ghost? Maybe it was a full body apparition that spoke to us to help us find B340. I don't know. I'm sure he was real. But it was weird. We never saw him again. A ghost. A couple other creepy things happened at the Queen Mary that I didn't mention, one of which is that after I had shot everything for the Queen Mary, I was taking off my makeup, and my camera guy tells me that he was in the bathroom and the door popped open. And I thought that was weird, but not like a sign of a ghost necessarily. In any case, I went into the bathroom soon after that, and I very purposefully shut the door hard and locked it and jiggled the handle because I didn't want the door to pop open on me. I'm in there, I'm doing my thing, peeing, and the door pops open on me. And I know it was locked, and I know it was shut because I checked it for the exact reason that I was trying to avoid that. And it happened quick. It was like, poof, and I shut it immediately, and then I waited, and nothing else happened. But that was weird. And then after that, I started to feel really, really sick in the room while I was still packing up the rest of my stuff, and it came out of nowhere, and it wasn't like a food sickness kind of thing, but it was like a nauseousness and just like overall just very uncomfortable feeling, and I wanted to get out of there so fast. I didn't think anything of being sick in terms of it being the room itself, but as soon as I left, I felt fine. So that's kind of weird, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know if that's because it's like just old or there was no air in that room, but it was weird. Yeah. I also forgot to use the Ouija board in that room because I was so distracted by everything going on, and I really wanted to use it because what a good opportunity. There were instructions on how to do Bloody Mary in the bathroom on the wall. I wanted to do that. I forgot to do that. The housekeeping that came in and was talking to me for a while told me how this one corner in particular had a lot of heavy energy, and so did that closet, that creepy closet, and all night I had my eyes on both of them because I was facing both of them while I was filming. But I didn't see anything. Queen Mary wins eeriest energy overall by far. The most fascinating location to me, and also the most expensive. You'd be surprised how expensive haunted places are, y'all. I didn't ask permission to film in any of these places except for Eastern State Pen because they were either out in the open or they were just hotel rooms that I could book and try to make sure that no one clued into the fact that I was trying to film something there. And LA's very weird about filming without permits or permission. So when you guys asked why I didn't walk through the hotel, that's why. I didn't want anyone to realize what I was doing and tell me to delete my footage or just kick me out. I don't know. I didn't want to deal with that. Then I shot the Pine Barrens, which started 3 days of fluffing insanity in my life. I don't want to get in all this, it's stressing me out. So the plan was I fly to the East Coast, I shoot the Pine Barrens on day 1 of actually being there, I shoot Eastern State Pen the second day of actually being there, and then I have the third day for emergencies. If something went totally wrong, like I lost footage or we got rained out in the Pine Barrens, which we did, but luckily it worked out. But I had a third day for emergencies, and if not, to spend with my family, because I haven't seen them in quite some time. So that was the plan. That plan did not go according to plan. So let me tell you a little story. Sleepy Hollow was not in the roster to film. I always wanted to do 6 videos for this series, but I didn't know what the 6th video was gonna be. A lot of you guys asked me how I decided what locations I was gonna do, and part of it was being able to do it without asking permission, because I did ask for permission to film in one other location that I really wanted to do, and whoever's running that email account wasn't checking it, or it was like, hell no, and they just didn't respond. But I was waiting on that 6th location to respond for a while, and eventually I just thought like maybe I'd only have enough time to do 5 anyway. Because the thing is, guys, is that I had to rearrange a lot to be able to do this series because of the time that it took up. I had to turn down an offer for a really cool sponsored video with a company that I've always wanted to work with. I also had to move a collab around that I know you guys are going to die to see, which is still happening, luckily, but I had to push it till after Halloween. So like stuff like this happens every year, but it was the most heartbreaking this year. So I had turned down this really cool sponsor opportunity, and I did it because the concept that they wanted me to do for this video didn't fit into this haunted Halloween series, and I really didn't want there to be one random video that stuck out like a sore thumb. So I let them know that I really needed it to fit into the theme if I was going to do it, and at first it was just like, okay, well, we can't make that happen, which was sad, but I understood and I wanted to stick to the theme for you guys. And then while I'm on the East Coast, they ask me again if there's anything I can do. And it seems like they're more open to me doing a concept that I think will fit on my channel well. So that's when I thought about how I could just add on an extra video. I had help while I was on the East Coast. I considered driving all the way up to Salem, because the thing that I wanted to focus on was a witch. So I wanted to go to Salem. That was a 6-hour drive, and I realized that this opportunity was back on the table at 4 p.m. on the last day that I had there, the day that I was supposed to spend with my family or use as an emergency. 4 p.m., I considered driving up to Salem to film an entire video that I had no preparation for before I get on a plane the next morning. I didn't do that, but I did go to Sleepy Hollow, New York instead, and we did it on a complete whim. It was easily the most frantic, spontaneous, and panicked video of all of them because it wasn't planned and I had to adapt on the spot. And I drove from Philadelphia up to New York City. I went to the store Abracadabra. I spent a lot of money out of nowhere on all kinds of witchy stuff, and I also had to completely restock my makeup for that look because I only brought enough makeup to do the Jersey Devil and the Prisoner. They kicked us out of the store because we had been shopping all the way up until closing time, and then drove to Sleepy Hollow from there, checked into the one hotel that was close enough to Sleepy Hollow because there's no lodging in Sleepy Hollow. We start filming it, gosh, like I want to say close to midnight. So we shot it, and I guess you guys can guess what happened because it's clearly edited in the way that it is just the 6th installment to the series. And I'm really happy with it. I like how it came out a lot, and it's fine. But yeah, they ended up not approving the concept afterwards, which is a bummer because we kind of killed ourselves to get that one done and then get on a plane immediately after. I had to tell my parents, like, goodbye, I'm leaving. I know I just got here, but I must take this chance. Sounds so dramatic. We filmed until, gosh, I want to say like 5 or 6 a.m. that night. That was after 2 more nights of being up until 5 or 6 a.m. and not really sleeping. So that was a really stressful week in the Halloween series, but I'm glad that I have it for you guys and for me and for the series. Oh, so here's footage from Sleepy Hollow that I never showed you guys of when I got into my hotel room at Tarrytown.
Did you guys see that? Hold on. What is that? Is that from the light? Because it's not there in person. That's not there in person. That must be from the light, right? Because when I walk past it, yeah, okay. I'm fine. We're in the Tarrytown House Estate. What's in here? A TV. Spooky. What about behind this creepy curtain? Ironing. Very spooky. Here we are.
There was also a lot of weird audio glitches while filming that one. It was quite strange. It's funny though, because even though there was plenty of technical issues with the Pine Barrens, that was the one place that there wasn't supposed to be ghosts per se. It was just the mythical creature. And yet, I had no focus issues in that one. Only that one. Kind of weird, right? Coincidence? Probably. But still weird. So maybe only ghosts mess up the focus and mythical creatures do not. So the Pine Barrens gets the award of most unexpected turns and twists because I did not really think we were gonna get caught in a storm especially not the way that we did. Luckily, there were no unexpected twists like bears, because that's what I was really afraid of there. Eastern State Penn, though, I will award least scary for me, and that's just because I was already comfortable there from working there. But it was also scary for me because I couldn't see when the look was done. So I'm in these really dark cell blocks, and I know that it would look scary if I could see it, but I couldn't see it at all. So really, if anything happened, I would have practically missed it, except I do feel like I saw something, and I never mentioned this, but I was doing final looks of the shot, and I could see a little bit, and I swear I saw like a big white blob in my peripheral for like a second, near where the light was. So I just kind of chalked it off to like the light reflected weirdly in my white contact. But honestly, it was like a weird shape. It was like a weird motion, and it lasted for a split second. But I kind of assume that my eyes might have been playing tricks on me because I am anticipating or kind of even hoping to see something. So, you know, I don't put a lot of weight on it, but I saw something that I cannot explain. I'm guessing it's just my messed up brain. I'm a poet. Otherwise, I couldn't see shit, so I can't tell you much about that night. A lot of people want to know if I believe in ghosts now, if anything changed my mind about the paranormal. Because I didn't want to go into it too hard telling you guys I don't believe in ghosts because I thought that that would be a major buzzkill. And I was open-minded enough that I also didn't think that it really mattered, you know? Like, if a ghost was like, yo, what's up? I'd be like, that was clearly nothing. But yeah, I went in very, 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 very skeptical of ghosts in general. Honestly, it just kind of reaffirmed what I already thought so far, but I'm still open-minded. I'm always open to being proven wrong. If there's evidence for it, that's what I go off of. So I still do not believe in ghosts. I was in some of the country's most haunted places, arguably some of the world's most haunted places, and I saw nothing, really, that I can concretely say is beyond any logical explanation. Some weird things, absolutely. The Queen Mary was probably the weirdest just in terms of how there's no denying how it felt, but there's no way to measure that. There's no way to like figure out what that could be from, and there's also a million things that could potentially explain it. And the bathroom door popping open was very eerie, and the stories that came out of there were the strangest of all. But yeah, I don't know. It's not enough to convince me. It's enough to keep me open-minded, though. And I would like to do this again, perhaps next year if I can coordinate it, because it does take a lot of coordination to do and a lot of help to do. But yeah, no ghosts. Not a ghost believer yet. What can I do with this perky tail? Could just put it right there. So this I got to add fur to my face. I forgot to get any adhesive, though, at the store. So do I cheat to put on some whiskers? I feel like I should, because it looks pretty crappy otherwise. Yeah, let's cheat. I don't know if this is making it better or astronomically worse. Now I kind of look like a creepy tails. This is so bad. Like, this would have been hard for me as is, but add on the worst grease paint ever. Oh no, look at that. Oh no, see? This is like nightmare tails. That was not the intention, but here we are. I say we just stick with it. I say we put tails on and we shoot this puppy. Disaster. I'm aware. We're never doing this again. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a weird transformation, really just as an excuse to talk about the Haunted Halloween series. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a whole playlist for it. You should check it out. It is linked in the description below. I can't believe I still spent $80 just to look like this. But you should go Halloween shopping after Halloween. Maybe don't do this though. Subscribe if you are new and lurking. Hit the bell even though you're not going to get any notifications. And like this video if you are afraid of me right now. Oh, that's fun looking. Oh. Okay, see you next week. Bye.